Stream this morning, so we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So I'm running two chats. If I get a bit caught up and I miss your questions, I will loop around to them, or I'll reach back to you personally to answer these questions. So feel free to tune in, say g'day in the chat. More than happy to talk about your individual situations when we talk about this topic today, which is going to be the 8 questions you need to ask yourself when setting a goal. So when we look at goal setting as a whole, we usually, until we have a system and process, we usually do it really, really poorly. And that's not knocking anyone for it. We just simply don't put enough thought and planning around the goal itself, and we usually use things like impulse-led goal setting to make our decisions on when we're about to embark on a journey. So by using this system, or the 8 questions I'll teach you today, it's a really simple and easy way to assess your motivation towards the goal, or whether you're just reaching to escape another particular part of your life. So instead of just setting a goal and then Monday kicking off and then 2 weeks later burning out or giving up, let's go through the 8 steps or 8 questions you need to ask yourself, and I'll explain how and what you need to do through the process to assess the goal and then either continue on with the goal or can it and find a new one that's more suitable towards your life stage and the goal, and where you're at. So question number 1, before we start though, what I want you to do is mark these out of 10. So it's an out of 10 per 8 questions, and what we'll do at the end, we'll give you a quick way to calculate your percentage of success, or your chances of success. So every question, mark it out of 10. So if you need to use your phone, notepad, pen, or you can just keep the number in your head and add it up as you go. All right, so question 1. In the last 6 months, how much have you thought about achieving this goal? Now, this allows you to sort of assess whether you're reaching or if it's an impulse-led goal, or you've actually been thinking about this for quite some time. Now, this could mean that you are actually thinking about the goal, or you are trying to escape the current situation you're in. But either way, the higher this number out of 10, the better, because it means you've allowed to let it simmer over time, or it's been a recurring thought in your mind. Now, question number 2 is, in the last 6 months, how much have you put into planning to achieve your goal? Now, if you have put 0 planning over the last 6 months, or you haven't started that phase, it just means you are really early on in that change journey. So if we look at things like the trans-theoretical model of change, it's pretty nerdy, I get it, but if you have not started that planning element of this goal or this jump, you're probably really early on in that stage. So out of 10, mark that one as well. Now, question number 3, in the last 6 months, have you socialized your thoughts about making the change with people you trust? Now, this really shows how vulnerable you're willing to be, or how committed you are to actually succeeding, in the sense that if you can't socialize it, you're trying to partition off the chances of, if you fail, no one will find out. So if we are someone who always just goes about our business quietly, there's nothing wrong with that, but then we always find ourselves falling off the bandwagon going, no one knows, I don't have to really worry about it. It's probably because you're partitioning and you're not really putting your money where your mouth is. So if we find ourselves just hoarding our goals and ideals, and we don't have people we can trust that we can tell, A, we need a better circle, but then B, we also need to add that extrinsic accountability by actually telling people and holding yourselves accountable. So a story, like a bit of experience here with this. I quit drinking about 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now, but I socialized the damn thing when I was ready to make the jump. I socialized it, and it made me accountable to other people, and it was people I trusted. So before that, I'd sort of just pondered with the idea, tried it on and off, but then eventually, once I hit that tipping point of readiness, I told people to socialize it, help me keep accountable, and Bob's your uncle, all sorted, haven't had a drink since. So knowing who you can trust, how to socialize it, and knowing if you're trying to partition just in case you fail is an important point. Question number 4, how good is your support network and structure to deal with setbacks and failures? Now, this is a really important one, because if we don't have that support network, kind of like the question before, if we don't have that support network, some days we are just going to not have the motivation, if you want to call it that, or the drive to want to achieve the task we've set out to do. And having that extrinsic accountability or support network is actually a super useful way to motivate yourself through it. That could be working out with friends at a particular time of the day, or having a battle buddy. But if we don't have that support network, you need to go out and find one. If we don't rank very highly out of 10 on this question, we should definitely look at either changing our circle or finding people in our circle that want to support us on the journey. And quite often, more than not, is that we do have people willing to help. We just haven't socialized it. So 3 should feed into 4 in that sense. Now, question number 5, how aware are you of, far out, of the destructive habits and behaviors that derail your momentum and success? Now, this is a self-awareness piece. If you're sort of just oblivious towards it and your impulse-led goal setting, you won't be able to answer this very highly on that 10-point scale. So if you are really aware, though, of those habits that derail your progress towards maybe your fitness goal or your health goal, this goes a long way in that change journey once again, because you're aware of the things you're doing wrong and they're the things you want to change. But if we're impulse-led goal setting or just simply clutching at something purely to get out of the situation we're in, we won't be aware of these habits. We'll sort of just be like, oh, but I just want to go and do this. So this part of the self-awareness piece of the change journey is important, because if you're not aware of what you're doing wrong, you can't actually put the right if then do this cues or the right structure around you to help you sort of avoid those destructive habits and behaviors that derail your success. So the awareness piece is another important stage. Question number 6, the behaviors and lack of success are causing you distress, negative emotions, or outcomes. Now, this doesn't have to be this over-exacerbated feeling of failure. This could just be like, I'm really tired and lethargic of a morning. I don't feel motivated at the moment. I can't play with my kids just because I can't move and run around. It doesn't have to be overly large, but you're aware of the feeling of those destructive habits and how they make you feel. And it's causing you the discomfort of like, fuck, I don't really like this about myself. I need to change it. The higher you score on this 10-point scale is also pretty important, because it's probably highlighting how far along that journey we are. And if we've gone through the planning and the self-awareness stages, it probably shows that we're pretty close to finding the right goal to step off on, or there's enough discomfort there to make us want to change. And being in an uncomfortable state is often a good catalyst to sort of drive change, but then it's our planning that helps us follow through and execute. Question number 7 is rate your experience to make a similar change in the past. If you haven't gone on this journey, it's actually really important that you find people who have, or build that support network around you. So if you haven't done anything like this, this is going to be a big jump, and there's going to be a lot of discomfort. So making sure that you actually, if you haven't gone on some of this journey, we need to obviously look at those questions 3 and 4 with the support network and the group. So your vibe attracts your tribe, making sure you've got that aligned. And then if you have made a change like this in the past, what did you do? What was successful? How did you and then reverse engineer it? Sorry. So making sure that you know where you actually need to place your time and effort. If you're new to it, find someone who's done it, make yourself accountable through extrinsic measures. And if you've done it, reverse engineer it, find out why you're successful, and dial back in and repeat that process, like rinse and repeat. Okay, so marking that out of 10 to make sure you know sort of what level of experience you have towards change. Final question, out of 10, rate your motivation to achieve or get started towards this goal. Now, if you're not like an 8+ on this sort of individual 10-point scale, go and find another goal. We'll go through the marking and the grading criteria to sort of work out what you need to be doing and how you need to sort of bump those numbers up. But If you're simply reaching and you're just trying to get out of an uncomfortable situation, you're not scoring high on this individual question, don't bother starting. We're just emotionally trying to release that anxiety in the position we're in. And quite often when we think about going on this path or this journey or towards the goal, it releases enough dopamine for us to feel relaxed again because we feel like we're going to change, and then we just don't take any action. So it's pretty well rooted. If you sort of have these thoughts but then die in motivation within 2 weeks, we probably haven't hit enough motivation, or we don't have the right measures around us to make sure we can actually go on that journey. So now with all of these questions, right, we'll open up the Q&A now. So if you've got any questions, queries, like just chuck them into the chat and we'll talk through them. But the marking grade now, so there's 8 questions, all marked out of 10. Now you should be able to mark these and get your score out of 80 and then divide it by 80. So say if you've got 73, divide that by 80. And what that's going to do is give you your percentage out of a 100-point scale. Now, if you're not above, I would say optimally about a 75%, I would either choose another goal or build those structures around accountability to bump you up in numbers. So the way we can manipulate or drive us towards a goal is choose a new goal, either a smaller goal or something that's more appropriate, or build the support structure around it through accountability measures, through hiring a coach or joining a group or joining a gym, whatever it is. Monetary is a really good motivator because you just feel accountable because you're paying for it. But then also the group, the community part is really important, particularly if you don't have the right circle of people. If you're in an unhealthy circle, you're going to have a really hard time in maintaining your motivation. So really quickly, let's go through those 8 questions again so you can grade this if you haven't been able to do it while I've been explaining it. Question 1, last 6 months, how much have you thought about change out of 10? Question 2, how much time have you put into planning to achieve your goal out of 10? Question 3, how much have you socialized your goal in the last 6 months? Question 4, how good is your support network and structure to support failure or lack of motivation? Question 5, how aware are you of the self-destructive habits that are holding you back? Mark that out of 10. The habits and current behaviors are causing you distress, negative emotions, or outcomes. Mark that out of 10. Question 7, you've made a similar change like this in the past. Rate your experience with it. Mark that out of 10. Final question, how motivated are you to step off or make progress towards achieving this goal? Now, out of 80, divide that by 80. So if you've got 65, 70, whatever, divide that by 80. If you're not hitting above 75%, honestly, pick another fucking goal. Don't try and flog a dead horse. Think about the goal. Go back to question 1 of using the next few weeks, whatever the time period is, to simmer on the goal and make sure it's the right one. That is the biggest thing. And then if we don't have the right accountability metrics in there, bump those numbers up by getting the right crowd around you. And then finally, if we can't move the needle any other way, don't progress on the goal. Because there's no surprise when people start these bloody journeys when they just drop off, because people use marketing and emotional reactivity for people to buy things. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks after the motivation has left or the emotive message they've delivered, the hard work sets in and people go, oh, I don't really want this. So stop wasting your time. That's the key. Don't enroll in that fitness program. Don't bloody go start on some goal that you're just reaching to get out of your current shit situation in. Just sit there. Wait till you find something you want to go and do it. Get the right support network around your structure and go from there. It's really that simple. So if we talk in summary, don't step off into a goal until you're ready to actually do it. If anyone's got any questions, jump into the chat, particularly anything, even if it's not goal-based. But just stop doing what everyone else is doing and reaching for these goals and being disappointed when you don't achieve them. It's really simple. Anyone who comes into my one-to-one PT has to answer this quiz, and it gets us in a really good snapshot of what we need or support structure we need around them. We take care of, obviously, in extrinsic motivation. They're hiring a coach to drive them through. But that's why usually when people join my one-to-one program, they succeed. The success rate for one-to-one coaching is quite high. Yet you see on group-based programs, particularly email-only or PDF-based programs, the industry statistics, right, is less than 10%. So if we look at people that buy an online course with no accountability around it or a PDF guide, the industry standard is less than 10% people actually read the whole fucking thing or do it. Less than 10. It's actually probably around 5 for people that actually go on through and immerse themselves in the journey. So don't listen to the marketing unless you're actually ready to buy it. It's insane the amount of people that follow things in their Instagram feeds or their Facebook profiles that are just mind fillers because they want to just feel like some sense of release. So be aware of these people marketing to you and saying, hey, this is what you want to do. I market like that purely because I look for people that are ready on that change journey that want to come with me. I don't give a fuck if you don't want to sign up. I've got hundreds of people on my mailing list that read my weekly email, and then that's all they do, and that's cool. I don't mind. If that's your change journey and you're actually reading it, you're learning a bit about mobility, mindset, that's cool. Maybe you might drop into that bucket of hitting that point where you've got a goal and you want me to help you achieve it. But don't just sign up because you're trying to reach for something to get you out of an uncomfortable situation. And really good point from Beck here. Yeah, hybrid as your coach. That's probably a bit of a biased opinion, I guess, because Beck's a legend and she's smart and stuff. If you can't see this on Instagram, we're on the Facebook chat. This will all be on YouTube as well after the end of the show. So in summary, stop wasting your fucking time choosing goals that are just trying to make you reach out of an uncomfortable situation. If you're locked down in COVID or you've lost your job or you're flat out with work, if you're on the opposite end of the spectrum, don't just pick a goal because you're tired, you're unhealthy, you've worked yourself in the ground, you're burnt out. Wait until you find the right thing that's interest-based, that's going to motivate you to change. Find the right crew and then go on the journey if you find someone you can trust or you find content you want to actually follow along with. Just be mindful, segment who you give your time to on a marketing level. Unfollow all those idiots on Instagram that are fitness influencers. They do you no good. If someone, I will tell you right now, and this is probably the best thing in the webinar that you'll get. In the live stream you'll get. If you are following fitness influencers and you feel shit about yourself, unfollow them. If they market their physical abilities or attributes, yes, they are great athletes. You see some phenomenal people that are great athletes. That does not make them a good fucking coach. Kind of had enough of it. With people fucking fitness influencers, look at my abs, look at how good I can do this handstand. Yet they couldn't coach a choco vine over a shit house. That's an old 70s saying from my dad. So find the right coach if you're going to go on the journey, or find the right people that inspire you to be a better person. Don't follow someone that's posting regularly on social media about how fucking good they are. I'm turning in a bit of a rant, but yeah, it's part of the journey. So got a comment from Jared here. Guilty of that, starting something, then not finishing, unusually due to my body letting me down. Far out. That's it. So that's the body thing, the old, actually, let's bring that back up. The old, my body can't do what it used to be able to do. If we're older and we're transitioning into like a different stage of our life, our body is not going to be capable of doing the things we wanted to do that we used to be able to do. I suffer it every day. I used to work with the best soldiers in the world and travel around the world with a dog, doing amazing physical things and walking down dark alleyways and stuff. And now my body, 14 dislocations on my shoulder, 1 reconstruction. I've got a cooked ankle. It's got torn ligaments in it. I'll probably have to get that operated on in the future, maybe if I want to run again. Like, it's just, you've got to work out where you are at, get an honest assessment, and then pick your goals based on your interests and your current level of ability. But then, Jay, the big thing is, like, you've been with me for a while. I've seen you sort of popping in and out. The big thing is finding someone that can help guide you if you don't know where to go, right? So we talk about those 8 motivators, and if the external accountability is up there, but you still don't have the right path or whatever, that's where having a coach drive you through the process or guide you is really important. And you don't have to pay a lot for a good coach. You simply just have to invest the time, or you can learn a lot of stuff for free off a lot of people before you make a jump. All my content's free on YouTube. You can actually get in there and start your journey. And when you get stuck, subscribe to my email and shoot me an email. You can press reply on the bloody weekly email I send, and I'll answer you. And then if you want to come into the app, cool, join us. That's cool. I don't mind. But the biggest thing is, the big part is you got to find people that can drive your journey or guide your journey and then be with you through the whole thing. If you're buying a one-off program, so a lot of these influencers don't sell accountable programs where they're with you the whole way. They'll sign a one-off cost, but there's no follow-on support. It's like the guys that have just started in the journey with my 28-day mobility program. They've got me there the whole time. And I know it's a fucking good program because I've ran thousands of clients through it. I know it's great, but they also have me there the whole way. So if they get stuck, they can ask. If they've got specific questions and queries or specific individual mobility issues from the screen we do and all the onboarding we do, they can ask about it. So really filtering, assessing your goals using the 8 questions we've gone through, and then finding the right people, and then segmenting your time, partitioning your time around what you want to achieve, getting rid of those idiot social media influencers. Pretty ironic that I'm on here ranting about it, but I don't post content about how physically capable I am very regularly at all. I barely post my workouts. I always post helpful content because I'm not here to fluff my own fucking ego. It's there. I'm here to help you guys. And it's rich because people are like, yeah, you're just trying to sell. No, not really. Sign up to my email. It's free. It always will be the emails. And you get all of my free content drip fed to you. I don't care if you never sign up to my app. It's the way this should work. If you want to come in and get coached by someone, they should have that system. But if you've got people professing they're a good coach by just showing off their own physical abilities, do not fucking get them as a coach. Find the right goal. Really work on isolating the motivators that are going to drive you to it. Let's keep rolling through this Q&A. That's me. Need the accountability early to build the habit. Yeah, it's momentum, right? So we talk about like momentum in the first usually week or two. We're motivated because it's something new in our body or our minds. Like, oh, this is great. We're starting to get regular sleep sometimes. We've committed to the schedule and our body starts to feel really good. And then we become complacent because what we do is we get comfortable because we start to feel that new, oh, yeah, this feels nice. We're starting to sleep. We're eating better. I've got a bit of momentum on. We've probably lost a couple of kilos. And then we go, oh, just one day to break the monotony of it's going to be all right. And then that snowballs back into it. So really, your coach should be on the initial motivation for your individual self wanting to get started. Your coach should then drop in at about day 28, should then be really on Instagram, hey, Jade. And then from day 28 or day 14, what am I saying day 28 for? Day 14 or whenever that stall point is, your coach should be able to come in and swoop in and sort of carry you through the next jump or should be aware of those jumps, right? So all of my programs have like messages and reminders and stuff right at those sticking points because I know when you're going to drop off after having thousands of people through my programs. I know when you're going to drop off. So I've placed reminders and engagers there to help keep you motivated. And then I'm there in the back end in the chat when you need me to reach out. Plus we do this sort of stuff and then the ongoing coaching. So no, your coach should be able to preempt those things. And that's where, Jace, that's where you'll find like the coach is super important because then you get people to actually go, hey, I've got you, let's go. And they can do some of the lifting occasionally. That's what your coach is there. Problem solving, and then keeping you accountable when you need to be. We got Beck. Thanks, man. Well, this is why you're a great coach. You help us stay honest to ourselves. Yeah, the honesty and the transparency. That's the big thing from like the coaching stuff. People see it. I'm working 2 chats here, team. We've got Instagram and then Facebook and YouTube going all at once. So the accountability and transparency is what a coach should really offer, and what you should actually be searching for yourself on an individual level, right? So you really need to be honest with yourself. That's why those 8 questions, if you've just tuned in, you'll be able to watch this on YouTube afterwards, or rewatch it on the channels. The 8 questions, marking them out of 10 and then dividing it by 80 total, that'll give you a percentage. Knowing what your motivation levels are, where your weak points are in your planning, and then your coach should help you find that transparency, right? So if you come with a really shit goal, a coach shouldn't just be trying to take your money. And then quite often what I find is some people are bringing me a health-related goal, like they want to come in and lose a few kilos or whatever. The underlying goal is they're just super unhappy with themselves. They're now fat, or they're now overweight, or they're now really under conditioned because they let their life get in the way, and they're really unhappy. But a weight loss goal isn't really the goal. It's to actually feel happy and move better. So then planning a goal that's relevant, being transparent with them, going, I actually just don't think this is it. I think you're unhappy about your current situation. This is what I propose. Retesting that goal through the 8 questions, making sure that you have the right structure, the transparency. So if you've got a shit goal, your coach should go, that's rubbish. This is why. Here's a better one, or I cannot help you. If a coach is too afraid to say, I cannot help you, it means they're probably desperate for money, or they're just simply saying yes to everything. And that happens when we're new to coaching and we're on the journey, because we need to test and find things and learn. But any good experienced coach will say no just as often as they'll say yes, or they'll have a filtering system to make sure they have the right clients coming in. Because I'm not a weight loss coach, don't profess to be, don't ever want to be. Previously, I'll admit, I've run one nutritional type challenge when I used to run a gym, but it was meat, veggies, and eat as much as you want. There was no caloric restriction, but it was a paleo-based thing. Yeah, got great results, but people ballooned out afterwards. So I've made that mistake. So I step well and truly away from nutritional coaching now. I don't touch it. I get people to track their calories, and then I look at their trends and when they have their blowouts or when they have their busy days and what the cause and effect is. That is it. Maybe if they really want to start losing weight, get them to focus on protein because it's the hardest macro to hit, but that's their own elective journey, and that's all based on scientific research or papers that I can then reference and give them. I don't care about nutritional intake to the sense that I just care about the habits and when you're having your blowouts and take you on that journey to increase self-awareness. So that's all it is. I don't touch nutrition anymore. So I'm not a nutrition coach. If you want to lose 10, 20 kilos, go and see a dietitian. Don't follow a fitness influencer's fucking meal plan. I will never provide another meal plan in my life. I've made that decision to never, ever give someone a meal plan. Go and pay someone that spent 4 years at uni to understand the unique structure of the body and the effects of food and all of that, if you're desperate to lose weight, or simply track your calories and become aware of when you're having your blowouts. Because for most people, for 99% of people, if you don't have a metabolic disease or something derailing your progress, you're just eating too much. 99% of people. But that's a broad statement. If you feel like you've got something wrong, go and get blood tests. Go and see a dietitian. I don't care about nutrition. I don't touch it. What I will do is help you move better and become aware of your self-destructive habits. That's all I do. Move better, move more. Simple. So knowing if your coach is just trying to do all that sort of stuff, if they don't have the relevant qualifications, don't pay them. Please don't. God, if you're buying meal plans and you're buying shakes or fitness influencers, slap yourself. Save someone else with a bit of sense the time. And stop it, because if you're going on the yo-yo bandwagon, it's because you are unhappy somewhere. You are trying to fix the problem where you're just trying to blanket the solution by trying to rapid weight loss, but your body goes into starvation mode and then you blow out past it. Slow and steady weight loss. Steady weight loss, successful weight loss journeys are defined as someone who has maintained the weight, or like lost the weight and maintained their weight level for up to 2 years after their weight loss journey. Just let that sink in. That is sustained weight loss or sustained weight. That is what it's determined as a successful journey. If you have blowouts and keep yo-yoing, you are not successfully dieting. Let that sink in. 2 years. So give yourself 2 years to make the change, yeah? Let it come down slowly. If you are fat today, it won't matter if you're fat tomorrow or if you're overweight. Sorry, I shouldn't say fat. I mean, get into the fat shaming thing, but if you are, you are. I don't know, it's hard. If you've got obviously conditions that affect that, that's not my wheelhouse, and I apologize if this is upsetting for you. But if you are overweight today, you will be overweight tomorrow, but you can take steps towards getting that down. Find the right people, though. Don't just find someone on social media that goes, hey, do this. So let's have a look. Nug resigned from his job. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, when we have these big shifts in our life stage, when we talk, thanks, Josh, on Instagram. Appreciate that, man. I'm not very fancy, or I don't really have the best marketing in the world, but I'd like to think what I talk about is sometimes common sense, but it's not common, but I'm happy to help impart knowledge and maybe inspire people to just calm their tits and go on a bit of a longer journey. So Nug raised the fact that like he's left his job and he's still using the habits he's developed. He was like the OG member on the first 66 program that I ran. I hadn't spoken to him about 20 years or so. But we went on that journey together. He reached out to me, and then he's really run with the habits that we've taught him. So he's been in the program system for about a year now. He's not engaged in some of the programs, engaged in others. So he's been picking and choosing when he comes in and out, but he's maintained it. I get videos of him deadlifting, or he's got a PT as well, which I don't have a problem with. It's great. He's maintained those habits. So we're a year down the journey now, and he hasn't rebounded in weight. He's maintained good habits. So you can see long-term, he's a perfect case study of like how this then affects long-term and how I rate my level of success, right? I shut my gym in 2016, 2017, I can't remember. But when I restarted this business, all my clients that I actually had a really good connection with came back. They've all engaged with me in some way. Some can't afford to pay for training, which is cool. But I've had emails, I've helped people. And they're all still maintaining healthy weight, and they still use the training that I gave them 5 years ago. So if you're talking about long-term and picking the right coach, look at people with those sort of long-term track records and having those big sort of success stories over periods of time, not just 28 days. You can starve someone and get them to lose weight in a 28-day period. It's not hard. Just restrict their caloric intake and make them super fucking hungry. But the psychological and physiological effects, you go into starvation mode, the fat receptors start screaming, going, oh, I'm hungry, you need to feed me, need to feed me, need to feed me. And they go through that refeed phase. You see guys that drop for competition and things like that. They drop weight really rapidly, and then they bounce back really heavy after it because they're fucking starving. Their body's just screaming for food. Getting under 10% body fat, yeah, the magazines tell us we need to get under 10%, but it's not sustainable and not healthy for the vast majority. Well, actually, no, for anyone really. It causes all sorts of problems with our metabolic system. It also gives us an unhealthy body image, particularly women that get really low on body fat. If you want to have kids, don't do it. Don't do it. There's lots of stuff. Any dietitian or any decent fertility specialist will probably back me up there. If you want to have kids but you want to look good, get strong, get fit, get healthy, so you support that ecosystem of having a baby, man. Don't starve yourself just because you want to look like that girl on the cover that's made the choice to look that great. I honestly have no problems with people doing figure competitions. I have a respect for people that want to push their body to the pinnacle of what it could be, so they can at least do it once in their life. What's wrong with that as well? If you want to have those goals, that's fine, but know there is only a ceiling and a duration you can maintain that. We should all be aiming for something that's maintainable, right? So it's healthy for us and body shape, workload, stress, and all that sort of stuff. Different stages of our life, we will have different goals, but then focusing on what these Instagram influencers give us via their photos. Look how ripped I am. Yeah, cool, man, because that's because you train for 3 hours a day. You meal prep because you've made it a priority. So they're selling motivation, right? But what they've built is consistency and habit over time. So they sell bullshit motivation saying, look at me, I'm a weapon, you can be too. Look at my abs. But what they've done is made that commitment years ago to train and be like that. And they have that body image thing of they want to look this good all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's an individual's journey, but it's not maintainable for the vast majority of people. And that's why they keep going on the bandwagon, because you lose a bit of weight, you start to get in good shape, and then it just rebounds if it's too steep a drop because you can't maintain it. So that's what happens. That's a really good point to touch on, because if we follow these influencers that have made a commitment, like you see these guys that are lifelong trainers. Like I see them all the time. I've got a lot of friends in the industry that have trained literally for 20, 25 years or even 10, 15 years, or genetically they're just fucking animals. So some of these males and females that I know, they're just weapons. They're genetically superior to most of us. I'm pretty bloody average. But they've made that goal with themselves to maintain their training forever. So they've built consistency and a habit over time that allows them to maintain low body weight. They have a lifestyle that's structured. Most of them don't have kids. Most of them have a partner that's just as geared towards that way. So they found their sort of soulmate in another fitness aspect. So they support each other through it. So they don't have just a normal partner that just wants to eat pizza and have a good time and fall in love, have kids and that sort of stuff. They've got their own individual goals where there's nothing wrong with that, but they've built their life around that. But then they sell it to the insecure individual as a fix-all and a saving motivator. So be wary of that. All right, we've got no new questions in the chat. I'm going to tune out now because I've been waffling my gums for far too long. As always, if you feel like you want to check out what we do, join us at minimalismfitness.com. Sign up for the free weekly email that you get some little tidbits of information that are helpful. Well, I think they are. You can reply to it and you will get a response from me. But like, follow, share this live stream, subscribe to the channel that you're on. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, Facebook, follow me, Instagram. Yeah, if you get this, follow me, whatever you need to do. But share it if you feel like someone else can get it. Bit of a long-winded one, guys. Awesome engagement. Thank you very much. I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay frosty, and I'll talk to you soon.